Okay, so in this part of the practice test, we're going to go over how we can represent sets of numbers with words, a number line, inequalities, and then interval notation. So then like going all through like these examples with all four forms. So let's look at the first one. So here we have the set of numbers less than and not equal to 0. Okay, so the number line, we're saying not equal to 0. So we're going to have an open circle at 0 because we're not including 0. And it says less than and not equal to 0. We're going to draw an arrow to the left. We're shading an arrow to the left. This would represent all the numbers to the left or below 0. Inequality notation, it's using x as our variable. We'll just say that x is less than 0. Make sure you really just have to know the direction that each inequality represents. So like the way I like to remember is just it looks like the direction that it's pointed. So it's pointed to the left, so we're talking about less than. And interval notation where we're going to use parentheses, brackets, unions, that sort of thing. So since we're saying less than 0, we're going basically to negative infinity to the left over here. So we're going to have parentheses negative infinity, comma, 0 in parentheses. And then we put parentheses around those because we're not including negative infinity and we're not including 0. Parentheses go around numbers, or in this case, infinities, because we don't include those. They're not part of the, they're not actually part of the solution set. All right, let's look at the next row. Here we have x is less than -1 or x is greater than 3.5. Let's draw a number line first. So x is less than -1. So an open circle at -1. Arrow to the left towards negative infinity. Then open circle at 3.5. And then arrow to the right towards positive infinity. And then in words, we would say the set of numbers less than -1 or greater than 3.5. Or greater than 3.5. Now with the interval notation, we're going to start with negative infinity to -1, putting them both in parentheses. Again, because we don't include each of those. We don't include negative infinity, we don't include -1. And then we're going to skip this region between -1 and 3.5. So we're going to use this union symbol, or U. And we're going to start up again at 3.5 with the parentheses because we don't include 3.5. We go 3.5, comma, positive infinity. Parentheses always go around infinity because you can never include infinity. Technically, infinity is not a number, so you can never include infinity. So always put parentheses around it, whether it's positive or negative. All right, the next one we got the set of numbers between -1 and 1, not including -1 and including 1. So number line, so between -1 and 1. Not including -1, so we're going to put an open circle around -1. And we include 1, so we're going to put a closed circle for 1. And it says between -1 and 1, so we're going to shade the interval between. Inequality notation, we would have -1 is less than x, and x is less than or equal to 1. Because again, we're saying less than or equal to 1 because we're including 1 with the closed circle we can see here. It says here. Now, with interval notation, we're going to parentheses -1, comma 1. And here we're going to put a bracket around the 1 because that bracket means we include this number. We include that endpoint. So parentheses around -1 because we don't include it. And then a bracket around +1 because we do include it. Next we got, it starts with the interval notation. We have -11 to -5, union 3 to 7. Let's jump first to the number line. -11 to -5. -11 is going to have a closed circle because it has a bracket, which means we include -11. -5, we have an open circle because we have parentheses, meaning that we don't include it. And then we shade between. And then we start up again at 3 with a closed circle because we have a bracket. And then we go to 7 with an open circle because of the parentheses. We shade between. Okay, so now with the inequality notation, we would have -11 is less than or equal to x, and x is less than -5. And then we're going to go or 3 is less than or equal to x, and x is less than 7. Just like that. And then we just write this in words. We can put the set of numbers greater than or equal to -11. And less than -5. Or greater than or equal to 3 and less than 7. And less than 7. Right. And one more. We're first given the inequality. So we have x is greater than or equal to 2.5 and it's less than 6. So I like the number line again to start off with. Closed circle at 2.5 because it says greater than or equal to. Open circle at 6 because it doesn't say or equal to. Doesn't have that line underneath it. And we're going to shade between. Now with inequality notation, we're going to have a bracket on the left, 2.5, comma 6 with parentheses. And then we just write this in words. A set of numbers greater than or equal to 2.5 and less than 6. Or less than 6. Okay, and there we go for that. I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions or any parts where you maybe want me to clear up. Leave a comment, or if you think it's good, leave a like, of course. And I'm gonna continue in the next video with going over how like functions behave. Whether we have a discrete function, continuous function, whether a scenario classifies as a function. So take a look out for that one. And of course, subscribe.